Hello, good evening. I get to see you guys. I got to see you guys this morning and tonight, and both on Wade stuff. So I was actually sitting down to start working on some co stuff, and this video pops up recommended new interview from Law and Crime with if you remember, it's the ex that posted those videos where she's at like at the concert, and well, the ones that I actually used for the thumbnail. Yeah, so she does a little interview. So let's watch this. Let me put on my earphones. How's everybody doing? If there's anybody even here. Um, let me wait a few minutes so people could come in. And actually, while I'm waiting, before I start this, let me play some of those videos that I'm talking about. Hold on one second. I'll wait, let some people come in. Hopefully some people come. Oh, let me just log out of Discord or it's gonna make that noise. Um, Okay, so let me log this out. So just give me 1 minute because I do wanna wait so people come in. I'm just gonna bring up my, that this Wade file, and I will share I'll show you what I'm talking about. Wow, it already went down all the way down here. Okay. Um, videos of Wade. Okay, this is what I wanted. So, it is like I said, while I'm waiting, which I'm gonna play it in a minute, but I just wanna show you the videos that it is. So here, let me share my screen. I'm pretty sure it's this person. Because I remember when she started TikTok and she started sharing pictures and videos of him. Well, I'm pretty sure these videos I'm going to share here are some of the ones that she shared. And then, like I said, then I'll watch that video. But I just want to give people a little bit of time to come in. So I think it's, oh, hold on. Yeah, looks like her. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just got to be here because I could tell she looks like her. This girl, that girl. So I'm pretty sure it's that girl. Hold on. It is that girl. Why do I keep saying pretty sure it is? I can tell it's her. It's who's the interview. But what I was gonna say is I think she's this person too. I could be wrong on this one. I think she's the one that posted this. Yes, Chelsea. Yep, her name's Chelsea. So she's the one that posted this one too. It says, "Let's call him what he really is, shall we?" And is that one of him sleeping? So she posted this one. Okay, a hobosexual, she calls him. And then she posted those pictures too. Like I said, there was some of the ones where he's in that purple shirt. They're at a concert. I'll have to find the rest of them. And I think this is her too. Yeah, because everybody was like, "Are you gonna do story time to explain it?" I actually never heard her do it. I think she did go on some live and do it. I think I didn't get to hear that. Um, she says, "I apologize to anyone I've confused with recent videos. I didn't mean to come off as clout chasing." Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, we'll rewind it. I forgot that. So this is her too, okay?
If it was a little lower, I would just grab it.
Why don't they use a chair?
Yeah.
Do you want a chair?
I can grab it with a chair. I can probably do it.
Somebody jump up there and get it. You need a chair? He's gonna get it. Whose idea was
Oh, so she writes in here the actual mother of his child was, I'm guessing, 7 or 8 months pregnant while he was at another gender party with a girl he met a week ago. So he must have met her a week ago. He's with her. So she probably came to find out his girlfriend was pregnant 7, 8 months. And she probably didn't know, is what I'm guessing she's saying.
Go!
And she says, stating facts isn't bragging. Everyone deserves to tell their story. The only way we can control actions. And then it says, not only did I realize he was using me, I caught him cheating on me with 2 different people, which she talks about in this interview. One which brought him to my job to rub their relationship in my face. Wow. I hope to share my story soon. My lesson learned, if a man has good intentions, you'll see it in everything he does.
Girl. It's a girl.
Okay, so that's who is going to be on this interview. So let's watch it. Now that we have some people in here, well, 25. Well, the only reason I like to wait a few minutes is so when people come in, they're like, oh, wait, I missed it, rewind it or whatever. So I like to give at least a little bit of time for people to come in. Okay, so let's bring up the video. It just came up 15 minutes ago when I saw it. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to go live. So I started doing a thumbnail and because I was like, I kind of wanted it to do a live anyway. And I'm just in a live mood the last couple of days since I skipped like how many days, like I haven't been doing many live. Okay.
We, the jury, finding his fight to vacate his him
I'm skipping.
speaks publicly for the very first time.
Honestly, I was thinking someone must have stolen this model's pictures or something.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Wade Wilson is on Florida's death row, convicted of murdering 2 women in one day. The crimes rocked Southwest Florida. Who could do such a thing? Prosecutors in Lee County say that Wade Wilson could and did. It happened one day in October 2019. 35-year-old Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz, a 43-year-old woman, they were both murdered after encountering Wilson. Here's some of the opening statement from the state's attorney.
Christine Melton was 35 years old when she died. She was found in her South Cape Coral residence, wrapped in some bedding, tied with some shirts and leggings and a bathing suit top. Her face was black and blue. Her fingernails were broken. She had marks around her neck as she lied on the floor between her bedroom and the kitchen area of her residence. Diane Ruiz was 43 years old. She was found on an empty lot under some shrubs, under a tree, just lying there. Her nose had been broken. Her hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage had been broken. She had suffered multiple rib fractures, not only front, but also in the back. Now, what you're going to learn during the course of this trial, ladies and gentlemen, is that Ms. Ruiz and Ms. Melton had 3 things in common. Both of them died on the 7th of October of 2019. Both of them had been strangled. And both of them, before they were forever silenced, the last person that they encountered was Mr. Wade Wilson.
At trial, Wilson's attorney didn't even argue that he did not commit the murders.
We're not arguing he didn't do it. There's solid evidence that he is responsible for those 2 deaths and the battery of Miss Montanez. But Miss Montanez's testimony, you need to think about that, whether this was premeditated in terms, Miss Melton had sex with him. He could have just gotten up and left or stayed with her. Instead, he murders her. That's not clear thinking, shall we say. I'm not arguing insanity. I'm just arguing that the state's claiming premeditation, and I'm saying he's whacked out. He's just out of his mind for any of this.
Wade Wilson's presence in the courtroom captivated people. He could be charming and even cool, earning him the nickname Handsome Devil for his striking looks. His face covered in tattoos that he'd started marking all over his face when he was in jail. But Wilson was a drug addict who started using drugs when he was 13. The cool, charming guy was dangerous, a killer. Wade Wilson's father testified at trial about his adopted son confessing.
Did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer. I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then call you back a third time?
Yes, ma'am.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these 2 people who were no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
So let's go now to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called back at 10, did he go into more details about what he had told you earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the first girl. If you could tell the jurors, what did he tell you?
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
He said he got on top of her and choked her.
What name did he call her? Did he refer to her in a derogatory term?
He said, I choked that.
And what did he say he did after he choked her?
He said he stayed in the house for a little while, and then he rolled her up and was going to try to put her in her trunk, but he couldn't lift her.
Did he say why he was unable to put her in her trunk?
He said that he felt like rigor mortis had started to set in.
And does rigor mortis make your body stiff? You didn't
I
know?
think so.
So he just told you that was the reason that he couldn't lift her and get her into her trunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he said her trunk, it was the trunk of her car he was going to put her in?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did he tell you he did when he couldn't get her body into her own trunk?
He left her there and took her car.
This is the type of case where checking out someone before you go on a date is the best thing that you can do. Truth Finder is a great way that you can do that. We part Truth Finder to check on new and sentenced to death.
Count 1, first-degree murder, Christine Melton. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 2, grand theft motor vehicle. The defendant is guilty of grand theft motor vehicle. Count 3, battery. The defendant is guilty of battery. Count 4, first-degree murder, Diane Ruiz. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 5, burglary of dwelling. The defendant is guilty of burglary of a dwelling. Count 6, first-degree petty theft. The defendant is guilty of first-degree petty theft. Dated 6/12/24, so say we all, 4-person.
Recently, Law and Crime produced a documentary that's streaming on Paramount Plus entitled Handsome Devil, Shocking Killer. It tells the story of the case and the following that Wade Wilson amassed among women on social media because of his looks. Chelsea Bianco spoke exclusively with Law and Crime. Bianco dated Wilson.
I'm from Florida. I'm a photographer. I'm a mom of 2 little girls and a bunch of pit bulls. That's about it. I travel for a living and I love it.
Bianco said she met Wade Wilson on Facebook, and at first, she didn't believe the profile photo was real.
I thought I was being catfished. His appearance, it just didn't seem real. Honestly, I was thinking someone must have stolen this model's pictures or something. And I asked him, if he was legit, and he said, well, let's FaceTime. And so we did, and that was our first conversation. His Facebook only had a handful of pictures, and a lot of times, and no followers, no friends really. It wasn't like a regular profile, so it was, concerning. And then when we FaceTimed, it proved it was him. He just had a new Facebook, I guess. So he was a good-looking guy. I was single, and he was single, so there wasn't too much more. I guess I should have asked more questions, obviously.
Bianco talked about what Wilson looked like when she met him.
Our first outing we went to, he had his shirt off, so you could pretty much see most of them. One from Houston, stuff about Texas, a girl's face, I believe, was a couple of them.
And she talked about how there were signs that something was off with Wade from the start.
There was already red flags from the start. I had a friend of mine that was with me, and her boyfriend and him and Wade clicked. So the next day, my friend's boyfriend actually told me that he had gotten a hold of drugs while we were at the concert. So that was already a concern from the beginning. So we work all kinds of events, festivals, fairs, concerts, arts and crafts shows, all kinds of stuff. So we work food concessions. We sell funnel cakes and corn dogs and stuff out of food trailers. He worked in our pizza stand, and I caught him stealing while he was in there. He looked at me like he could not believe I just questioned him, and very slowly unraveled the $50 bill that was crumbled up underneath his fingers and handed it to me. And I took it and put it where it was supposed to go. And that was kind of our first real eye contact, I feel like. He acted like he wasn't going to put it anywhere bad. He acted like, what? And I mean, when you're taking money at a register, what's the reason to have a $50 bill rolled up under your fingers back here where you can't see it? Where was it going to go? It wasn't going to the right places.
Now I'm going to get into more from Chelsea Bianco shortly, but first, let's get back to Wade Wilson's criminal case.
Good morning and welcome to the Florida Supreme Court. Our first case today is Wilson versus State of Florida, number 2024-1345.
Wade Wilson's case was a death penalty case, of course, so it's automatically being appealed to the Florida Supreme Court. One of his main arguments, the constitutionality of Florida's new requirement for a death penalty verdict following the Parkland school shooting case. When the killer received life without parole instead of a death sentence, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law that lowered the threshold for the jury verdict from unanimous to 8-4 for a death sentence.
Michael Luckman on behalf of Wade Wilson. May it please the court. Seated with me at council table is co-counsel for Mr. Wilson, Laurel Cornell Niles. If this argument had been taking place on December 17th of 2025, my presentation would be very different. But I certainly am aware of the 2 opinions that this court issued on December 18th. Hunt being the lead one, and Jackson perhaps to a lesser extent. I will acknowledge that all of the claims that I'm raising in my brief have been considered and rejected in the Hunt opinion.
The Hunt opinion relates to Michael Hunt's conviction for a 2019 quadruple shooting that left a teenager dead and 3 seriously hurt. The Florida Supreme Court upheld his death sentence under the new non-unanimous threshold.
I continue to believe in these arguments that I've raised. Of course, I believe under Pew that my client has an ex post facto challenge. But again, this court has rejected that challenge. And the next step for my client and probably for Mr. Hunt is going to be the United States Supreme Court to consider that. So otherwise, I love a good intellectual argument, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to beat my head against a brick wall knowing that literally less than or just over 30 days ago, you've issued an opinion addressing all of the issues that I'm raising in my brief.
I just want to say real quick, I was probably, now that I'm hearing this, it makes total sense. I didn't have my coffee or my breakfast this morning. I totally missed this, even watching it twice. When I was just listening to this, getting ready for the live, I was watching this video, listening to it. When I heard it, I'm like, oh my God, he clearly says the United States Supreme Court, that's where he has to take it. Like it was so clear after the fact. I'm like, oh my God, I probably sound like an idiot. But I hadn't had my coffee. I had just woke up. I didn't absorb it completely. So forgive me for that. It is pretty clear watching it now after I have my coffee and I'm like able to hear what he says. It's totally clear. So I totally get it now. I do feel stupid for even not understanding. Anyway, but exactly the unanimous thing, that's what I was saying. That's the huge issue. But there was another place, if you guys remember when this was all going on back, like a year ago, whatever, there was another person on death sentence that just tried to appeal because of that too. And I'm pretty sure he lost, if I'm remembering. I think there's a conclusion. So that's what I'm saying. It hasn't been successful yet, but I get the argument though. Like before the crime, during the crime, it was one way. Shouldn't that the law be like what was the law when he committed the crime? It had to be unanimous because he didn't have the trial till 5 years later. So it's like, I don't think though, since the other cases they're not getting through. So I don't think he's going to have a chance, to be honest.
So of course I'm open to any questions, but at the same time, the other point I was going to make, perhaps if I could distinguish Hunt, or perhaps if I could say that Hunt was somehow not argued the way that I would have argued it, but I'm very familiar with Hunt. I've watched Ms. Becheris's argument. I think she did a wonderful job, and she presented all the issues that I would have presented them the way that I would present them today or on December 17th. And beyond that, Ms. Becheris was my legal writing and oral argument instructor in law school. And one of the first things she instructed me is when there's precedent against you, you acknowledge that precedent to the court. You preserve your issue for further review, but you don't waste the court's time unless the court is somehow interested in further discussing the matter. So with that, if there are any questions, I'm happy to address them. Otherwise, again, I acknowledge that Hunt resolves the issues in this case. I preserve these issues, and I will intend to raise them in the United States Supreme Court.
So there were no oral arguments as planned. Wilson's attorneys are going to the U.S. Supreme Court now with their arguments.
I'm Rick Buckwalter, Assistant Attorney General, and I represent the appellee in this case, the state of Florida. My intention coming here this morning was to limit my arguments to responding to those arguments raised by my friend over here on my left, given that he has acknowledged that this court's decisions in both Hunt and Jackson kind of set that aside for today. I really don't have any argument to make, and we would sit on our brief unless, of course, the court has any questions.
Chelsea Bianco talked about how she feels about Wade Wilson.
I would doubt he has any remorse for anything he did. He didn't seem remorseful in any of the little snippets of the court videos that I did see. He was damn near smiling. I think he was thinking he could get over on me. And I was thinking, I see this every day. We hire people, and that's the number one thing that I have to watch out for, whether you're my boyfriend or not. And I don't honestly think Wade even knows who he is as a person because he's constantly putting on a facade to impress people. I try to still see the human in him, but at the same time, you can't deny the things that he's done. So it's hard to still have humility when someone's done the things that they've done.
Chelsea also talked about her state of mind when she was dating Wade, who she said cheated on her twice.
I was very overweight and drinking a lot whenever I met him. I was in a very toxic state, I would say, in my life. And so I drank a lot at that time, and it made me very overweight. So I feel like that was something that was pointed out, was people saying that I was desperate. But I feel like at the end of the day, he was the one that was desperate. And also, when we got to our next event, another person told me that they seen a girl come out of our room. So whether it was the girl, he got her number, or a whole new one, I don't know. I think that he is just the true definition of a narcissist, because I feel like that's what they do. They just consistently use people.
And despite Wade's good looks, Chelsea said their sex life was nothing special.
It wasn't all warm and fuzzy. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't falling in love. It wasn't cute, sweet cuddles at night. It was like almost roommate status, or, you know, just we're living in the same room, in the same bed, and that's what it is.
Because you know why? He was using her for a place to stay. Like he said to Kelly too. He needed a place after he got out of jail, and he's found Kelly. Like he's using these women for something. Some of them, like for her to say they didn't really have anything, even though he's not capable of real love, really. But he's still, I feel like, with some, like Mila, they probably had like a sexual chemistry or whatever. It sounds like he treated her like a roommate, because he's probably using you for a room, because that's the person he is. He's a jerk.
I don't think your looks has anything to do with what you're capable of in the bedroom. Just because a boat looks nice doesn't mean it floats, you know? There's no motor.
Chelsea is incredibly hopeful that other women can learn from her story.
I hope that my story can make girls ask more questions, and it can show my daughters one day just to be smarter than their mom and keep themselves as safe as they possibly can.
Wade Wilson remains on Florida's death row. His appeal is now on its way to the U.S. Supreme Court, as you heard, and Law and Crime will keep an eye on this for you. That's it for this episode.
I didn't know she said Law and Crime produced that documentary. I didn't even realize that. Did you guys know that? No, I don't know. I don't remember the documentary saying homosexual. The video I just played had that, but maybe they did. Maybe they just played the video she did. That video were you here when I played it? It's a video she put on her TikTok. She called him a homosexual. This was like last year. They may have used that clip though. I don't remember if they put that clip in. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This video right here that she made. Where is it? I played it at the beginning.
You'll never find another like.
Shoot, now I'm gonna get copyright probably. Homosexual person who hooks up. So she's aware of that too. So yeah, don't you see? That's what he was doing with you for a place to live. Yep, that's exactly. Okay, so now I'm gonna share. Oh, they sold it to. But like, why would they need to sell anything to him? I'm confused. I guess Skate Girl, you said 2 weeks they were together. I don't know. I guess 2 weeks, maybe. Probably not long. So let me share what the Wade team shared about today. Okay, this is what they said about it. Hold on, let me bring that up real quick. About like the proceedings today. This is what they had to say about it. Which one's first? Okay, hold on. This one. Okay, hold on. Right here. Okay. Let me read this. All right. So it says, "Dear supporters, now that oral arguments have concluded, we want to take a moment to explain what happens next and what to expect moving forward. Before today's oral argument, both parties had already submitted their written legal briefs. These briefs contain the full legal arguments and are the primary materials the Florida Supreme Court relies on when reviewing a case. Oral argument is not a retrial or a representation of the entire case. It is limited opportunity for the justices to ask clarifying questions if they feel further explanation is needed. In this instance, the justices did not have additional questions for either side. When that happens, oral argument can conclude very quickly. A shorter argument does not reflect a lack of consideration or importance, but no argument. He had zero argument. He didn't even argue at all. Anyway, it simply indicates that the court believes it already has what it needs from the written submissions. I mean, I get that, but not only did he not argue, he already said he knows the opinions because of the outcome of the Hunt case. So he's going to have to take it higher. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that like he already knows? So why argue? He already knows their view on it, right? So, but they're going to stay hopeful. What do you guys think is going to happen when he goes to the U.S. Supreme Court? The Florida Supreme Court does not issue a decision immediately after oral argument. The justices will now review the arguments presented, discuss the case internally, and work toward a written decision. This process includes deliberation, voting, and drafting one or more written opinions. There is no set deadline for when this will be completed. When decisions are released, the Florida Supreme Court typically releases their opinions on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the court's usual schedule, but is not guaranteed for any specific case. In some situations, opinions may be released on other days if the court determines a decision is ready sooner. The court does not announce in advance which cases will be decided on a given day. The public becomes aware only once an opinion is officially posted. What this means for Wade. At this stage, there's no specific date for when a decision will be issued. The process may take weeks or longer. The written opinion, once released, will be the court's official ruling. If the Florida Supreme Court denies relief, the state court processes will be complete. In that event, Wade's legal team is prepared to move forward with the next phase of review in the federal court. But he already knows that's where he's going to have to argue it. I mean, he even said he's going to have to argue it there because he knows their opinion because of that case, that Hunt's case. So, like, I feel like he's not dumb. That was kind of like you know what I'm saying? That was kind of a defeat thing. Like, he knows their opinions on it. He's going to have to argue at the U.S. Supreme Court. Especially after hearing that again, it's like, it's so clear. If they would accept it, that would be like, he would probably be surprised, you know? This would involve raising federal constitutional issues through the appropriate legal process. This step would not happen immediately, but planning for it occurs alongside the court's review. Are they going to have money to do that? How much more money is that going to be? As soon as an opinion is published and publicly available, it will be shared here along with a clear, accurate information about what it means for Wade and what comes next. Thank you for your patience and your care. Your continued support matters, and together we remain united for Wade, the team. So Callie, if you rewind a little bit, she kind of like, I can go over a summary of that case, but I feel like if you rewind where she just explains it, it's really quick, but you kind of get the whole gist of the Hunt case. I mean, it's really quick, but I mean, she kind of tells you real quick what it is. Like I said, I can look it up, but let me finish this and then let me see. Hold on. Because I might just give you my review. Is this say anything new? Let's see. Oral arguments have concluded. I think this basically says the same thing. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Okay. So now let me just give you a little bit of my thoughts on the documentary, even though now I didn't take notes on it. So now it's been like over a week or two. I'm going to kind of forget a little bit, but, it started off strong because the first thing they played was basically the only new piece of footage that I have not seen. Okay. So when it first started, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. They played that, at Mateo's, the body cam, which none hadn't been out yet, right? So they play that. They played the 911 call, which I tried to order and I couldn't get it. Josh's 911 or his call to the cops, reporting Wade, and then they played that the body cam when they go and bust out the window of Christine's car and stuff, because they thought maybe she was in the back, her body was in the back, you know, they weren't sure. They wanted to get in. So that started it. So I was like, okay, but then it was the same recycled stuff. But there are some key highlights that I did like that was kind of nice. I loved Mila in it. I thought she did a really good job to bring that emotion that was needed, you know, because I feel like I kind of needed. I'm screaming because these are in my ear, but if I take it off, I'm gonna have to reshare well, who cares? If I reshare it, I'll just have to reshare it because I feel like I'm screaming if not. Let me just exit out of that. Okay. So I feel like you needed that emotion because we don't want a bunch of new people feeling bad for him and stuff. You want somebody that can bring some emotion to show like how what's the word for it? Just how it would be. Like it's not good, you know, and just bring that emotion. So it's kind of like maybe not get a bunch more followers that would want to go through that. So I did like her part. It, you know, it brought the emotion. I think she did a really good job. I like the fact that they interviewed his his lawyer. What's his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Skate girl. What is it? Oh, whatever. His one lawyer, the one, not Kevin Shirley, because Kevin Shirley was a lot better of a lawyer than what's his name. I don't know why I can't think of it real quick, but his other lawyer that was like fall asleep and the one that was looking at him all weird and Lee Hollander, that's right. So we got his perspective on it. And it reminded me they didn't have any opening arguments. I forgot about that. But okay, so I like that. We got to hear from him. I liked hearing from who else? There's one other person that I was happy that hold on. That we hadn't got to hear from. And see, I wish I should have done it right after I watched it, or at least like that weekend. Because I'm forgetting. There was one other person they were interviewing that I was like, oh, that added a good touch because we hadn't heard from him. Remind me, guys. Ufferman, not Ufferman. Hollander. Who was the other one? God. I liked Mila. I liked hold on, let me think. This is making me mad. Skeet girl, do you remember? Because we were talking. I feel like we talked about it. Yeah, prosecuting attorneys, but no, I mean, I've heard from them. I've seen the press conference. I've seen some of them talk. That's not who I was talking to about. I don't remember. Yeah, they texted. Oh, thanks, Donna. Wasn't there one other person we hadn't heard from before that was on there? But anyway, but I thought it was kind of weird that well, I guess not, because I bet you Wade's biological dad didn't. He probably denied being on it, right? Because they used the interview from that first interview where he first came out from that one channel, 23 locked up or 23 locked up or something like that. It was his first time like coming out. I remember when that interview happened, it was huge. Everybody was watching it. I replayed it. But thank you, Donna, so much. So they replayed that 23-1. That's right. They replayed that interview. And I feel like if people didn't follow the case, like we didn't know about that interview, they would have thought that was Paramount's interview, the way they set that up. I feel like, because they would have just thought that it was some, I don't know. Don't you think? And another thing that was bullcrap is the creators that they highlighted are not even the main creators that covered, besides the jumpsuit, but the rest was not even the main people that covered it. Like it was like maybe people that did one video or whatever, like all of us that were covering every day or almost every day, like intensely, like That's who you bring on, some of these random people? Like, that was kind of upsetting. Just like, whatever. Yeah, I didn't understand that. It was so random. And one of them called him uh God, what is wrong with me today? Today, I'm I know, my recall. Too many just my history with the drugs. I know I bring it up, and it's not an excuse, but it is what it is. I mean, it did affect me. The recall, I hate that for live streams. It's the worst. Oh, I can't think. What I was trying to think of, but I don't even know who they were. Some of those creators and the and then like how they reuse like they play different clips from the same clips I played on my live from different like live streams like that Hannah clip where she got on the live. I have the same exact clips that I was gonna re-upload. Uh what else? I mean, they played let me put it this way. If I didn't know anything about the case and I was new to the case watching it, I would have liked it. It was good. It was very informative. It played parts from the trial. It touched on the Wade wives. It touched on everything. So it actually was a good documentary for people that didn't really know anything. And that's what always happens. People that are like into a case and know like every single detail, we usually are disappointed when there's a documentary because they can't cover it like everything we've covered in over a year, like every detail. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They have what? A few hours and it's always going to disappoint us because we hit like everything. There's nothing left barely. The only thing that those kind of things have is they have the big names so they could get big interviews where people want to do interviews with them, that they might not people might not want to interview with, smaller like independent channels. Like the Watts case, like I said, every documentary they did was a disappointment because I knew that case so much, so good, and it was all of us that were following it so intensely. It was always a disappointment. So, like I said, it was actually really good for new people to learn the case. I do. I'll give it to him on that. But I was just a little bit disappointed but I knew I was going to be because what else could they bring? There's not much new. Like we know everything. So I mean, I guess it wasn't bad because they did bring like a few people we got to hear from that we haven't got to. I know there's one where I'm missing that I was like, oh, we got to hear from him or her, and I wish I would have took notes. I didn't take notes. And like I said, that body cam at Mateo's, I'd never seen that, but I think I almost and also I kind of started off a little bit upset because how they copyrighted like 3 of my videos before the documentary even came out. They released them because I argued them, I disputed them, and they knew I mean, obviously they knew they were wrong, but I had got an attitude in my dispute because I'm like, I have almost 200 videos. I was like, you can't sit there and copyright every one of them because you're using the same stuff that I got. I said, I have every right to use it just as much as you have every right to use it. It's like I order my own files and I have just as much of a right to use them as you do. I was like, I'm capable of ordering them just like you. I was like, just because you use them doesn't mean you can copyright. I'm like, look at the date of the videos you're copyrighting. First of all, your documentary didn't even come out yet. Second of all, how can I take it from you when you got it first? I said, maybe I should copyright. I was so mad. I was like, maybe I should copyright you guys, huh? I was like, no, because that's not the way it works. And they released them. So I started off just like a little bit like upset because of that, but they always do that. Like with the Watts case, they did the same thing. These new documentaries come out year after like we all have the stuff, and then they want to copyright everybody that has the same stuff they have that we had way before them every time. And the sucky thing is if I was a new creator like I used to be, I wouldn't have fought it. Like the first year when like Dr. Phil copyright me. Lori Vallow case. I had the stuff. It was a clip that I had before him. He had no right to it over more than I did, but I was new. It was in my first year. I was like, oh, I'm not going to ever be able to win that. It's Dr. Phil. So I never disputed it. But now, knowing what I know now, I would have disputed it and I would have got it. They would have released it because there's no way they could take me to court for that. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And I have every right to use it just as them. But that's what I'm saying. Any new creator is going to get taken advantage of by these companies because they're not going to know. They're just going to like let it go and be like, oh, they copyright me. And it's not fair. That's not fair. They need to stop doing that. These big companies with these documentaries. But yeah, I got a big attitude. But I knew there was nothing they could do. I was like, there's absolutely nothing they could do. Like they cannot do anything. They know I'm right. So I could get a little attitude with them because it's bull crap. A waste of my time. I have to sit there and write out a big thing for each one you're copywriting. And if I didn't get that attitude and dispute it, they would have kept copywriting more of my videos because I had a lot of the same stuff they had that I had first. They would have just kept copywriting them, and so I had to put an end to it. Oh, really? Wait, what? So Wade knew they were doing it ahead of time and like they wanted him to be a part of it? I don't blame that. You can't judge somebody for that because people true crime, like people want to hear from the person sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And like I would want to hear it, you'd want to hear, So like, no, you can't judge them for that. It's not like that means that they're like, saying he's right and like that they like him. No, it's a documentary. And if you could get the person that it's about, like anybody, any reporter or journalist or anything would want to get the interview. So no, I don't judge him for that. I'm just surprised that the prison I'm glad the prison didn't let him. So yeah, that's interesting though. I wasn't sure if they were, probably so they probably would have let him if he wasn't, huh? That's funny. He's such an idiot. Let me see. I don't know. I was gonna re-upload, let me see if I have anything ready to like play here. I'm re-uploading some of the old Wade stuff. Hold on, let me see here. 1 second. Let me oh where is it? Oh, I might as well say it here. I don't think I even said it during a Wade video. I said this on my last live about the kiosk messages, right? That was on I haven't said that yet today on this, right? I ordered the 2 weeks I was missing in July kiosk message. So I don't know if you remember, I was missing July 13th through the 25th. The reason though is because when the first batch that I ordered, because I didn't know how it was going to work, the first batch of kiosk messages I ordered was, first of all, I tried to order them all and then I didn't realize they're going to be that expensive. So I said, what about like the last 1,000 pages? So that's how I originally ordered it. I said, can I order the last 1,000 pages of the kiosk? So from the day he got transferred back, I wanted to see how it went. And I didn't know, okay, the dates of how many, and because they're so expensive, I was like, okay, I could do 1,000 pages. Okay. Cause I didn't know how many, like in a month it would be or whatever, So that took me back to, that would be, how did that work? It took me from August. So I had the August 14th, because then after that, he was on disciplinary. Remember the last few weeks there, he couldn't talk to anybody because he got in trouble. So from August 14th back, it took me back to July 20. Wait. Yeah, July 26th, right? Yeah, it took me back to. No. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how this works. Yeah, July 26th. Yeah. Okay. So that was the first batch I ordered. Okay. So then I was like, okay. And then I ended up ordering, I don't know why, but then we were trying to figure out Allie's last contact with them. And since they were so expensive, I was like, my next chunk was June to, I don't know if I did July. So somehow, because then I ordered, I'm like, I want to go back to June now and see this. There was something I wanted to see in June. And then somehow it took me up until June 13th. And so I'm missing those 2 weeks in between. The first batch was the last. I kind of did them all out of order. The first batch I read and ordered was like the more recent stuff. So I'm missing July 13th through July 25th. Yeah. You see how it's backwards? So I got like the first batch took me, I got all of August 1st to the 14th, and then I got July 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30, and then before that, then I ordered June to, I think I ordered June 1st to, maybe that's when I just did July 3rd, the first couple weeks of July or something, because I was gonna, I don't know why I should have just finished it. Or maybe I did that in 2 parts because it was just so much. But anyway, I'm getting those finally. The sucky thing is though, I tried to order these 20. So you remember how I got the 2019 kiosk messages? His first weeks there, October, I got the first few weeks. So I know they had that old of the old ones. So I tried to order there's a period where is CJ in it? Wait, what is, I don't remember. Is your name in here? I don't know if I should, what names I should give, but there are a few people, Skate Girl, and I don't know what does she go by? I don't want to dox anybody, but told me to order these. They reminded me there's this time in 2022 where Bonnie and was talking to him and stuff. So I tried to order this chunk in 2022, basically a few months, and they said they don't have any. And they almost worded it like there wasn't any, which I know is bullcrap. So I'm thinking now they're not, they don't want to go back, whatever. They don't want to go back and get them back then. So I don't know. After I get these July ones, I'll try to do another one in the past and see. Because then if they say there's none, and then I know they just don't want to go back and get them. But yeah. Yeah. But it sucks because before they went back to 2019. So I'll try again, but one batch at a time because they are a lot. So I'm going to get those. I have to send the check in tomorrow. I'll send it in. I was going to do it today, but I'll do it tomorrow. They do it all old school, so I can't I have to send a check. So anyway. I know, Janet, but they said a part where there was a letter that she had sent him with a date. So we knew he had talked to her on those messages, these dates. And I ordered like a good chunk, was like 3 or 4 months. And the reason I could order more in the past, because he didn't talk as much on the kiosk in the past. So like 2 weeks in July would probably be equivalent to like 6 months in the past, because after the trial, that's where he got like tons, thousands of girls. And you know what I'm saying? So he was talking to the kiosk way more. So that's why I was like, okay, 3 or 4 months in 2022 would probably be equivalent to a couple weeks in July or less than, Anyway, are those still a thing? What do you mean? Are those still a thing? I don't know. I don't understand the question there, buddy. Or I didn't mean to say that like that. Hopefully it didn't come out wrong. I'm just curious what you mean. That's all. Yes, I saw that. Yes, but sorry, they said no. Yeah, and then of course, is anybody in here that didn't see the documentary? Allie was in it, and of course, we all saw the trailer where, she was gonna say, where she ends up saying, like, oh yeah, she was gonna marry him and stuff, which I thought was kind of messed up because that first thing, remember I played that a couple weeks ago where she said, you know, her first time she spoke out about acting like, oh, she wasn't going to marry him or whatever. Did you guys see, is his name Zane, right? Diane's, I think it's TikTok that he did. Let me find it. Somebody email me. I watched it last week. Do you guys want to watch that? How many have seen that? It, basically he's talking about the documentary and how disappointed he was. Anybody not see it that want to see it, that wants to see it? Let me know if anybody wants to see it. If not, let me see if there's anything else I could play, but let me know. Oh God, has everybody seen it? Oh, does anybody want to see it? Let me see. Yes, you want to see it, or yes, you already seen it, Kim? Well, a lot of people have seen it. Only one person so far hasn't. Okay, hold on. Let me get it. Somebody sent it to me. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay, let me put on my earphones. Oh. Connected. All right. All right, here it is. Let me move it over and share my screen. And then while I'm doing that, I'll try to find if there's anything that I have ready. Hold on a second. That was weird. Well, let me put this over. Let me make sure that I can. Oh, there we go. I thought I had my screen shared. I guess it wouldn't have really mattered, but something would have just popped up. All right. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Okay. Here we go. Let's watch her up. Or watch it up. I don't say so. Watch. So it says I can actually write a whole video essay on how this documentary disappointed me. And he put it out January 24th.
I've made this video so many times. And it's me just going to shit talk the Handsome Devil Charming Killer documentary and how it portrayed the murders of Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz, and also how it portrayed those victims' family. And I think they did a terrible job. The whole documentary in general, I think did a terrible job. I actually think the directors and the journalists did an even worse job. Without bringing up me being in there yet, why was Alexis there? Who the fuck invited Alexis to this party? Because why the fuck are you having another manipulator and liar on something for her to change around her story, for her to feel better about what she did and who she helped? And why the fuck was my name in her mouth? I don't care what kind of bullshit she wanted to say on that documentary. I don't care what kind of shit was on there. But since day one, since the first day my mother went missing, it has been national headlines from the beginning. Maybe not national, but I know it's been headlining in Florida for forever. And if you searched up little serial killer's name, you could have found all the information you needed right there and then. With all the evidence, with everything he has said himself. And you believed him? That's just, it's mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling to me. And on that point of me being brought up in that documentary, I was contacted by a woman named Jennifer. She was one of the journalists for that documentary that did the research. And I also know Brian was one of the directors' names. This is to them only because they're the only two names I have even considered to remember. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. F-U-C-K all day. Because I think it is disrespectful for a victim's family member to sit there and beg you to take their victim impact statement down from a documentary that is going to be put on a platform with millions. And to also use it in their trailer to evoke emotion and feeling. When I asked and I begged to be removed, they basically told me no. They told me they have they want to give me condolences. They want to say they're so sorry and it must be such a hard time for me and what I'm going through, but they couldn't remove me. And that shit pissed me off. And also, a day later when I asked, hey, can you not remove it? Can I get any compensation? They, again, said no. That didn't piss me off as much because, again, I did research. I knew I wasn't going to get any compensation because it was in a courtroom and it was law and it's whatever, public, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I'm even more pissed about it now, days after watching the documentary, is I've been sitting in bed and I've been depressed, whatever, call it a day, reflecting of everything I could have done to stop this from happening. In general, to stop everything from happening, right? So I'm over here reliving these events, reliving what it was like when I was sitting there and I was watching the trial off of my phone because I refused, because I did not want to be too much on a public view, and let alone my victim impact statement was one of the only things out of this whole case I ever allowed to be televised. When the news people came to our house the first time when my mom went missing, I refused to be on camera. I refused any interviews. I refused all the people talking to me. The only time I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'll do this was for the impact statement only, because I wanted the judge and the jury to hear how this has impacted my life. My life. And the reason why I bring this up and I bring up that they couldn't remove this is because in the documentary, out of everything that was happening, out of all the wedding wives, out of Alexis being brought up about all of this happening, why was the testimony to one of the last witnesses to hang out and be with Wade not in the documentary? His name was like Jaden or Jordan, one of the fucking two. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Why was he not in the documentary? He was the last living thing to be there.
It was Jason, but it was with a Y. It was Jayson, remember? Oh, Zeke's here. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. You guys want to see Zeke? Hopefully he'll stay here. Okay. Baba, hey, come on in. Come here, baby. Baba. You scratched it. Okay, Baba, you can come in. I love you. Come on in. I'll keep it cracked. Okay. Oh, I opened the door and he looked all sad and then he just walked away.
Both see Mr. Serial Killer himself and Christine Melton alive. Why was that not in the documentary? But there was plenty of scenes to my testimony, to zooming in on not only my family, but Christine Melton's family crying in that courtroom. What in your right fucking mind thinks that's okay? Anywho, before I make this too long and before I start going on a whole rant, the last thing I gotta say is I also don't think they went long enough explaining Mr. Serial Killer's incident reports, how he tried to escape jail when he first got arrested, about everything that has happened in his past. I think they should have went on about how this is a trend. I think they should have brought up more statistics. I think there should have been a lot more facts than feelings in this documentary. Maybe that's my opinion. Some people may think it's different, but just know me, myself, and I think this documentary was shitty, it was crappy, and I could have done better within a 12-hour span with my knowledge of After Effects and Premiere Pro than these two directors did. The lack of respect, the lack of research. I understand there's 20,000 things that go on, but in my opinion, I don't think anything, I don't think they should have spent more than maybe 5-10 minutes on speaking about the Wade wives. not a whole fucking episode. And not only to have one of the wives themselves have a fucking interview trying to protect her image. Anywho, that's the end of my rant. That is the end of this. And that will be the last time I am speaking on this topic. But I cannot continue any longer without sitting here and letting people know that I think the documentary was terrible. I think it could have been done better. I think there could have been better things. And I think that true crime in general, after somebody who used to be a big true crime person, just to make me feel better about this situation being so unreal and needing things to fill me in to make sure I'm not the only one experience unreal events in life, I have now realized that it is an unethical thing to do, an unethical thing to profit from, an unethical thing to make about if nobody that these crimes affected get anything from it. This documentary was not closure for me. Nothing was actually closure for me. This documentary revoked feelings I have not felt since I was 14. Made me feel as if I was once again in high school reliving everything over again. Making me feel like I had no control over a situation I should have had control over. I should have not been in there. I should have been respected. My family should have been respected. It should have went better. And I was told in those calls with Jennifer, one of the journalists, that I need to trust them because the court and stuff are trusting them. So I need to. And after being told that, and also after being told that I should just go and reopen the GoFundMe if I really want money, really pisses me off and really put into perspective how this documentary was going to be taken and how this documentary was going to be fulfilled before I even watched it. And I should have known that. I should have known. But I digress. And that's all I have to say.
Wow. You know what sucks? I actually worded what I said. I was just so proud how I finally worded something. I was like, man, I actually worded that exactly how I wanted to. I'm not even gonna try to repeat it. I'm just gonna let it go. Figures. I was sitting there as I was like finishing up. I was like, wow, I'm proud of how I worded that. Cause like, sometimes my words don't oh my God. I'm not gonna repeat it because it'll come. I won't be able to do it as good. Oh well. Um oh, it It was good. It was good. I'm not even gonna try. I think I'm just gonna end it on that note. Oh no, I want to play a couple things. I gave my thoughts on that, but I feel like if I try to do it again, because it's a little stuff I brought up, I don't even want to try. I can't. But I'm mad at myself. I did so good finally. I was proud of it. You could hear me now, right? Dang it. Anyway, well, I did give my thoughts. Like I said, I can't do it again because I know I just won't be able to say it the right way. And then, okay, so, no, Diane, no, my God, that's hilarious. Can you imagine if I just started? I'm like, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, let me play. You know what I wanted to play? Like I was gonna put this in some of my clips. I was gonna put where is it? I know they played a couple parts of Hannah's live, but I don't think they played. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? All of the, let's see how many minutes, like 5 minutes. I don't think they played the whole like 5 minutes of it, right? Maybe I'll replay that just to add something. But first, let me play this. I meant to play this. I meant to add these two clips of Josh when I uploaded the Eric Brown live, and I forgot. So let me do that first. Sorry, I know it looks like I didn't even have any thoughts on what he said, but I did. But I can't repeat it because I just feel like I did it, and it makes me so mad when I do that. I can't even do nearly as good as how I just worded it, so I don't even want to try. I'm too upset that I just screwed that up. That really makes me mad. Okay, let me add this. I'm gonna do I don't remember which one was first. So he came out and did these videos, I mean, this was a year ago or whatever, but it's about the case, Josh. So let's watch it. I forget. I haven't watched it actually since a while.
Hey guys, listen, this Wade Wilson stuff, it's getting way out of hand. I think everybody just needs to pump the brakes and give the families a little bit of space, time to heal, grieve, because these were innocent women that made the mistake of meeting Wade in their life. And the most tragic part about that is he's nothing. He's nothing. And he took two beautiful souls. My heart goes out to their families and loved ones. I could only imagine what TikTok and this other endless story regime on Wade Wilson seems to, continue. It's time to get what you need to get out of it and move on. And I think everybody will be okay. This doesn't need to be blasted all over TikTok. There's a lot of other great things out there, or not. But this particular gig, it's not cool. Be happy. God loves you.
And then there's one more. Hold on.
So I'm at the place where Wade Wilson actually showed up, and when I talked to him for the first time,
I know.
after he murdered the women, I just wanted everybody to know the real story. This guy's very good at manipulation, as you've seen. We're gonna have a couple of better looks, overview, aerial view, and give you kind of a brief on what's real and what's not.
Yeah. I don't know why you lied. And that's the thing. It's like we could still be guilty and he could still be lying. Both could be true. So yeah, I do. I think he lied about knowing it. He lied about working for him. If you watch my Eric Brown live that I uploaded, it was a year-old live that I did a live stream on. I re-uploaded it because it was interesting. Talks about meeting Wade. He talks about just Wade and dating Sarah, his ex. He talks about Tommy talks about a threesome he had with Wade. But what I was going to bring up here is they admit right on that live that he worked for Josh. When he testified, he said he didn't work for him. He said he barely knew him. And then I remember back when that live happened, I was like, wait a minute. I knew he was lying. Like, you could tell up there I did not trust him. And it was like, what? So he did work for you. You lied. Anyway. So that, yeah. And I guess, we have those instincts, and like, I just had, and a lot of us did, seeing his testimony. I just knew. I was like, no, this guy, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Okay, let's watch a couple clips of that Hannah Rose. So Hannah Rose, guys, if you guys have not, if you weren't on my Patreon or Ko-Fi where I posted, her kiosk and messages and stuff, she's the one that she hid, well, one of them, because there's been 3 that's had some good hiding. Remember how Wade always told them, hide, take sexy pictures, but hide them so they could get accepted, like be creative and hide them. So Jesse had those ones hidden, and Hannah and Amanda. So if you remember the first batch, there's like a couple weeks in June that the kiosk the kiosk pictures came labeled. So you could see the whole name and you could see if it got accepted or rejected, right? So we got to see like Jesse's, she was trying to hide pictures. They all got rejected. So they caught him, right? Well, Hannah's got them through, and they were good because I missed them. Somebody had to point them out after I had put them on Patreon. Somebody pointed it out, and I was like, oh my God, I missed them. So she hid pictures, like private parts of her body, pictures of her son within her son's pictures. So yeah. Anyway, and then Amanda hit him at the Times Square. Hers are the best. Oh my God. Those ones made me laugh. Anyway, okay, so let's play Hannah Rose's. She did like a live stream where she was talking about some stuff about Wade. I don't know what order. Let me see if I have them labeled what order. There's a few short clips. Part 4, hold on. More parts. I only have part 4 labeled, but oh well. I'll just try to guess.
About pictures, or was he chilled about pictures? About pictures, or was he chilled about pictures?
He did ask for pictures, and then when he got them, he was like obviously very sweet, very charming, and complimentary about the pictures. And then he was asking for more pictures in that way of not just normal pictures. But I was like, they won't go through, and I didn't want to send pictures like that. I don't even think they'd go through. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, did he ask you for money? No, he honestly never, ever asked me for money at all. If he did, I'd never have sent it, but he actually never asked me for anything in any type of way.
Is he aware that he has fans? Of course, there has been, he knows by the amount of people that are just trying to reach out to him,
Yeah, he definitely knows. When I look back and I think of the one phone call that we had, the first phone call after his trial, so the first one after he's recommended the penalty, I was talking about his lawyer that was falling asleep, and he was like, people have contacted me telling me about how he was falling asleep and how he's such a joke. And then he was like, and I've been told I've gone global. Obviously, that was the other conversation that made me stop contact. But he knew what was going on the outside. He knew what was being posted on TikTok. He literally knows everything.
Yeah, and I can imagine that there's people who talk to him and they really kind of really feel feed his ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Also on that Eric Brown live, I'm telling you, it's really informative. Whether you believe some of the stuff he says or not, it still is very interesting. He also talks about that fight that he gets in with, I think it's Chris he's talking about, right? So about how he's making out with kissing Chris in the parking lot. A guy, he says a guy, but he's talking about Chris, pretty sure, because Chris is the one he supposedly stabbed, right? Talks about how he was fighting him and he stabbed him and stuff. It's a really good live, I feel like, to get some information, whether you, like I said, believe it or not, there's going to be some truth in it, and just to kind of see, I don't know, I think it is. Okay, so hold on, let me play the other two parts.
Feed his ego a lot, because there was one point in the conversation that I heard where he kept repeating things that people he had spoken to had said to him, and he was like, oh yeah, they're calling me like Manson, the lit sexy Manson, and just things like that, and they're just obviously feeding his ego so much, and obviously he's thriving off it. He loves it.
Yeah, he referred to me that he was a joker. This was when I was over in the States. And I remember I had one conversation with him on the phone, and he was like, you know the Joker? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, every time you see the Joker, think of me, because that's me. I was like, okay. How old am I? I'm 32. Someone just asked how old I am. How did he react to ending contact? He didn't really get a way to react because I didn't do any. Didn't really get a way to react because I didn't do any. Didn't really get a way to react because I didn't do any. I literally just went on the smart.
Zeke's barking. Okay, hold on one second. New report. All right, so let me play the last part. Right here.
Be people that are contacting him that aren't even using TikTok, that haven't seen what's posted about him, and women coming forward saying everything and posting everything about him. So there is going to be women that are in contact with him that have no clue about what's being posted, and probably have kept secret that they're talking to him, and are completely unaware that he is saying the same things to everyone and who else he's talking to. Because I have to admit, he does come up. If I hadn't have seen the proof of that he's talking to other people, he does really go on about it. One of his words are, they aren't posting me because they aren't talking to me, and you have nothing to worry about. He even said, I'm a faithful guy. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Faithful to his bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I still am gonna upload a few more condensed stuff of some of the highlights that I want to cover on this. And like I said, then when I get the new kiosk stuff, but hold on one second. There might be one more thing. It might be off right now. Wait, hold on. Keep stopping mid thought, as you can see. Oh, have you guys? Well, no, I have to wait on that one too, because I want to take the music out for copyright. Shoot. Supporters. Let me do. Wait, lunch. I keep forgetting. Oh, hold on a second. Wow, my brain, like, I'll keep thinking something that I wanna do, and then it escapes my memory. It's so weird. Wow. Have you guys ever had that happen? It's, like, right there, and then yeah, that's about all. Cause the other stuff, I have to get it all, organized and stuff. Cause like, I have some of, like, of my, old YouTube's videos downloaded that I wanna take little bits and pieces from it and then put it into one video, and I don't have anything ready yet for my next one. Um, did I play wait a minute. Did I play this? Well, I'll wait to probably do this. No, I'm gonna wait for pre-records, guys. Um, anyway, I have a Taylor business video. I forgot. I should have done that today. I'm over here like wanting to do a live, but no, I'm glad I did this because this was new. That interview with Chelsea, that was new. But this Taylor one I've been wanting to do for a few days, and I kept I wanted to finish the pre-records, then I had like the David stuff that come up, and I don't know. Slipped my mind. So I put a big message here because I remembered it a little bit ago as I'm on this live. I'm like, I cannot forget that. Taylor, I have to do it in the next couple of days, guys. Remind me if I forget. I got something I want to go over that I would faithful. You're full of. If you say to your faith. Yeah, we watched it. I live streamed it this morning. Ski Girl, is there anything you think that we should go over? Let me see. Anything interesting that you could think of that I could share? I don't know. Let me see. Not really. I wish I would have took notes in the documentary, but I mean, there's really not a whole bunch to talk about. I mean, I wish I could remember the third person. There was one person that I feel like I wanted to say, "Oh, I'm glad they did that too." Oh, I see. The oral argument. So question, the oral argument, did they charge him the oral argument? Wait, they charged him that? That was considered an oral argument? Hold on, let me save this to myself. Don't leave. Is that under the appeal? Hold on. Oh, can I share? Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on one second. Okay, one second, guys. I want to share one more thing. Give me 1 second. I just have to send it so I can have it. Oh wait, I could do it here. Hold on. Give me 1 more minute and then I'll end it after that. I just want to share one thing because I think it's funny in a way. Hold on. But sorry, I mean, I didn't really have anything else planned. I just wanted to play that interview. That's why I don't really have anything. I'm just trying to find some stuff since I'm here live, but let me save this real quick and I'll share this real quickly. That's crazy. All right, let me share this. Oh, wait, what is this? Okay, hold on, let me show you. I'm just making. All right, hold on. Sorry, I don't know if I'm catching everything that's being written. I'm trying to like do this, not miss this. But I feel like I'm gonna go back and see what I missed here. But let me just share this and then I'll let everybody go. I'm sorry. I feel like yes. Hold on, guys. Just don't leave. I just want to make sure something. Give me 1 minute. Trying to figure out something. Okay. I always try to make sure I check my phone for different things or emails, because how many times I end a freaking live and then there's something that somebody sends me and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would have opened that during my live. So that's why I do check my phone a lot or my emails. Because I do not want to miss opportunities. All right. Let me get my screenshots really quick. Yeah, check this out, guys. Check it out. Check. I'm in a weird mood today, though. I really am. I'm in a weird mood. For the last couple days, I've been in a weird mood. Anyway, okay. Invoice 3, oral argument fee. Invoice date, January 5th, 2026. Total $10,000. This invoice applies only because oral argument was granted by the Florida Supreme Court. Under the original appellate contract, oral argument was not included and requires a separate additional fee if approved by the court. The invoice reflects that contingency provision being triggered. $10,000, which, why does it say 1.5 though? Because that was when it was supposed to be. So this is what I'm not understanding. Is this for what he did today that he got paid? Am I understanding that right for what he did today? Because he didn't really do oral argument. So they still had to pay? That's why I thought it's kind of fun. No, I mean, like, funny in a way, because it's like, you pay, he's still like, since he didn't do an oral argument, I don't think he should have charged. But yeah, I'm not gonna pay. Karma is sucking for him. If you think about it, his lawyer sucked. Now he has all this. He's paying all this money. Karma is like they say. And when you're a bad person, sometimes it takes a while. Like, sometimes you see like people like, my God, he's doing so bad and he's like having all the luck, or the opposite. This person's so good and they're having all, but eventually it ends up coming, either bad or good. I feel like it might be like very past due, but it will come. And that's what he's getting, all of his bad karma. All right, one more thing I want to share. Let's see. I haven't even really got to look at this. Save Wade Stephen Wilson advocacy website. This website was created to bring together accurate information, organize updates, and supportive community for those who follow and care about Wade Stephen Wilson. Here you'll find centralized resources, official announcements, and ways to stay connected as his situation evolves. Our goal is simple: to provide clarity, consistency, and respectful space for people who want to stay informed. Hold on, let me shut. Can I shut my door really quick? Hold on. Oh my gosh, my back. I think I just twisted it. Shit. Oh, I left it open because I thought Zeke might want to come in, but he didn't. And I feel bad because my mom's down there. I'm afraid to talk loud. Okay. All right, let me see what else is in this site. Oh, I think I did twist my back. Is there anything else in here? It's independently managed by supporters committed to advocating for Wade Wilson. It exists to share verified information, promote transparency, and provide a space for those who believe in fairness, dignity, and humane treatment within the justice system. Where are we at? Wade Stephen Wilson does not operate, manage, or direct this website, nor does any incarcerated individual. Any contributions made through the site are optional and are never required for participation. When supporters choose to donate, the funds are used only to add credit to Wade's facility managed commissary account. Wait, so they are. I have to reread this. When supporters choose to donate, the funds are used only to add credit to Wade's facility managed commissary account, which is administered entirely by the institution. So it is going to Wade, though. I thought it was maybe going to help with Ufferman, since, I mean, he has to argue at Supreme Court, it'll be more money, but it's going to his commissary? That's the whole point. Yeah, of course you can't just hand him money. That's how he gets money through that. So that is like going to him. Dude, this is making me mad. Funds are deposited by an approved visitor following all facility rules. Well, duh, he's in jail. You got to follow the rules, but the money's still going to him. That's the only way he get money. Wow. Wade does not receive money directly, cannot access donated funds as cash. Yeah, because he's in jail. He can't have cash. Duh. That's just how their system is through the. This is silly. Cannot access donated funds as cash and cannot use them for anything outside the commissary system. They cannot be applied to legal fees, personal payments, or external expenses of any kind. All processing is done through secure, verified third-party platforms to ensure compliance safety for everyone. Legal fees? I thought that's what it was for, is legal fees, though. What the heck? Yeah, I see. A link to Dufferman. Okay, so you're saying this is going right. This isn't for. There's a specific link to Ufferman. That's what I was figuring. Okay. All processing is done through secure, verified third-party platforms to ensure compliance and safety for everyone. By proceeding to this website, you acknowledge and agree to the following. You understand that it is a supporter-run advocacy site, not an official legal or governmental page. You agree not to misuse, misrepresent, or distribute information from this site in a harmful, misleading way. You will not engage in harassment, defamatory behavior, or targeted attacks toward Wade, his supporters, or anyone involved with his advocacy effort. You recognize that all information is shared in good faith for awareness, education, and advocacy purposes only. Okay. For any questions or concerns, you may contact us here. This website complies with applicable laws and policies. Malicious misuse, false reporting, or intentional misrepresentation may result in appropriate administrative review or action. Anybody actually been in here? Is it worth agreeing and going in there? What should I do? That means I have to agree to not. I mean, I guess okay, so I don't have to agree to support him. I just can't say anything that looks like I'm like attacking or targeting him. So I'll just share it, and I'm just gonna I'll just not add anything until I'm off the site. I won't add any opinions, but oh, let's see what it says. You're now on the official supporter run site for updates, information, and resources related to Wade. Everything shared here is organized and posted by the advocacy team to keep supporters informed in a clear and transparent way. Wait, what? No? I hope not. I just wanted to see what was in here. What do you mean? Oh, I hope I'm just curious to see what it says. You don't want me to read the rest of it, guys? No, I could read some of it, but it doesn't mean that I support it. Just like if you're reading a document that's trying to appeal a case, doesn't mean you agree with the person appealing it. Or if you read the defense's document trying to stick up for their client, doesn't mean I agree with it. I just want to hear what the other side has to say, you know? Um, I am a little bit nervous. No, I did ask Janet, so no, don't feel bad for saying that because I did ask. I was like, should I go in? Does that mean like, so no, I know I have these doubts too because I don't want, first of all, to make it look like I am, or so that's why I'm trying to like make it vocal that I'm not. Nope. Okay. Okay, so it says Blue Heart Advocacy LLC exists to support, uplift, and inform the community surrounding Wade through accurate information, transparency, and organized advocacy. Our mission is to create a safe, respectful space where supporters can access verified updates, learn the facts, contribute meaningfully to ongoing awareness efforts. We operate with clarity and integrity, ensuring that all administrative and advocacy functions of the LLC remain completely separate from any commissary contributions. Um, Made by supporters. Yeah, but it is connected. I don't, hold on. Administrative and advocacy functions of the LS. Anyway, separate from any commissary contributions made by supporters, commissary donations are handled personally and used solely to support Wade's basic needs, while LLC resources are used only for managing this platform, communication tools, and community organization. At its core, this movement is built on truth, compassion, and the commitment to keep supporters informed and united and empowered. Our mission is to stand beside Wade in his ongoing fight for justice, to ensure that his voice is heard, his rights are protected, and his case is seen with transparency and truth. We believe in due process, fair representation, and the dignity that every human being deserves, regardless of their circumstances. Wait. Oh, I see. And the dignity that every human being deserves. Okay, I read that wrong. I thought they were gonna. Anyway, regardless of the circumstances, through the site, we aim to share verified information, legal updates, and ways to take meaningful action in support of Wade's legal journey. Justice is not a privilege, it's a right. We will continue to advocate until every aspect of his case receives the fairness it deserves. This site provides verified information, legal document, okay, and updates from his support team. So that's just, okay. Saying it was not operated or directed by Wade. Oh, it does give it. It says the site is managed by a small group dedicated supporters who work together to maintain Blue Heart advocacy and the Save Wade Stephen Wilson platforms. The advocacy team includes Angie, Ann, and Lynn, who coordinate communication, organize support efforts, and ensure that all shared information remains accurate, respectful, and transparent. We operate this site strictly as supporters. This is not an official legal governmental or court operated website, and no incarcerated individual managed or directs this platform. Is Wade involved in the website? No, Wade does not operate, manage, or control this website. He does not have access to the site, its accounts, or its content. All updates shared here are created and posted by supporters based on approved communications, letters, information received through appropriate channels. This site exists to support, inform, and organize the community that cares about him. How do donations work? Any donations managed or linked through this website are 100% voluntary, never required to access information or be part of the community, used exclusively to support Wade's commissary account, intended for basic living needs such as hygiene items, writing supplies, and supplemental food that the facility does not fully provide. All funds are deposited legally and properly by an approved visitor, following the facility's rules and regulations. Donations are not used for legal fees, personal payments, or outside purposes. No money goes directly to or from Wade himself. All transactions are handled through secure, verified third-party platforms. How can I support Wade? Support can look different for everyone. Some ways people choose to help include staying informed by reading updates on this website, sending a message of support through approved forms or mail options, sharing verified information respectfully without spreading rumors or misinformation, participating in organized awareness or advocacy efforts when they are shared, voluntarily contributing to commissary if they are able and feel comfortable doing so. Even simply being here, learning, and caring makes a difference. Community expectations. To keep the space safe and respectful, we ask all visitors avoid harassment, bullying, or targeted attacks towards Wade, his supporters, or anyone involved. Refrain from spreading unverified claims or misinformation. Engage with compassion even when you have questions or concerns. Use the information on this site responsibly in good faith. We reserve the right to remove or block harmful, abusive, or bad faith behavior across our connected platform. There's nothing more. I mean, that's it. Oh, wait, hold on. There is more. Okay. Oh. Shoot. Got stuck back at this again. Hold on. Let me go back to, let's do, I want to see what they have. Okay. About Wade. Justice for Wade. The fight of justice continues. About Wade. He's more than the headlines that have come to define him. So it says, Wade Stephen Wilson is more than the headlines that have come to define him. Before his legal history became the whole story in the public eye, he was simply Wade. He was a son, a brother, a friend, and a young man loved deeply by those who truly knew him. From an early age, Wade was curious, playful, and full of life. His mother, Candy Wilson, has always held on to the memories that show who he was at his core. Wade had such a light in him as a child, she said. He loved to laugh and play, and he carried so much kindness in his little heart. He was not perfect, no child is, but he was ours, and we loved him. People who grew up around Wade talked about a boy who stood up for others and made people laugh. He had energy that filled a room and dreams that reached farther than his circumstances. He wanted to do something that mattered. He wanted to make people proud. Life did not unfold in a straight line like many young men. Wade faced challenges that shaped his direction. Circumstances, systems, and choices collided, and the result changed the course of his life. Even so, the people who love him still see the heart he always had. They still see the humor, the loyalty, the desire to be better, and the humanity that has never disappeared. This page and the movement behind it exists to remind the public that a life is not defined by a single chapter. Wade is still the son of his mother's Wade is still the son his mother prays for every night. He is still the brother whose absence is felt in laughter and holiday. He is still the friend people defend because they remember the person, not the headline. We believe in justice as a real promise, not a slogan. Wade deserves the same process, fairness, transparency, and dignity that every human being should receive. His story is not finished, and neither is the fight for a fair outcome. Oh, thanks, Living It Up. Living It Up 26. Let me take a sip of this and we'll finish. Okay. Where are we at? His story is not finished, and neither is his fight for a fair outcome. Thank you again, though, Living It Up. You are so sweet. And Donna, I thanked you earlier. Yes, okay. Thanks. You guys are so sweet. What are you saying do have? Did I read something wrong? Or are you just correcting something you said? So we have some pictures of Wade. Hope against a broken system. Oh my God, my nose is itching. Sometimes I get that allergy. Oh, feels like there's like a bug in there. I know there's not. Anyway, hope against a broken system. For the first time, Wade Wilson's mother, Candy, who chose to publicly share her memories of his childhood, an emotional journey that shaped their family. That doesn't even, for the first time, what? It doesn't finish it. Anyway. She spoke vividly about Wade's early years, his adoption, and the blend of warmth, love, and resilience that defined his upbringing. Her reflections painted a picture of a boy who grew up surrounded by family support, even when life brought significant challenges and difficult moments. Candy also described how the current situation has affected their family. She spoke honestly about ongoing pain and uncertainty, but also about enduring hope and inner strength and the steadfast determination to keep fighting for fairness. Her perspective makes it clear how deeply this reaches beyond headlines and legal terms. It touches real people, real families, and profound, lasting loss. Most importantly, Candy called for unity. She asked the community to stand with Wade and to stay committed to justice, transparency, and a fair process. Her words remind us that meaningful change is never created alone. When people stand together, push forward, and refuse to look away, justice has a chance to take hold. Standing United honors Wade's story and moves us collectively toward a future where fairness prevails. And it says source, public interview previously available on YouTube. Is that the one that I played that I think Jesse said? Forget where it first came. The one that I re-uploaded again with his mom. That's probably what she's talking about, right? Because they said it was taken from a public interview, right? Okay. How can you help? It says support for Wade doesn't come from big organizations or corporations. It comes from people like you. Every message, donation, and share makes a real difference in ensuring his voice is heard, his case is supported, and his basic human needs are met. There are several meaningful ways you could stand with Wade and his family in their pursuit of justice. Hold on. Before I hit that, let me see what the next is. That I want to see something. So hold on, let me just see. I just didn't know if that was, so we're gonna have to click on each thing, but I just want to see what they say. Oh, here's the different ways. So you got law pay, donate page, you learn more. So contribute toward appellate legal. Wade's appeals lawyer, Michael Offerman, is fully dedicated and tirelessly working hard every day to defend Wade. Yeah, it did look like he was I can't say that for some reason. Tirelessly working today. Anyway, working on every day to defend Wade through the challenging and complex appeals process. Every single legal fee is handled directly through Upperman's firm, ensuring complete transparency and full accountability at every stage. If you want to stand with Wade and help support his legal costs, please use the verified payment link provided below. I'm definitely not going to donate, but I'm curious, of how it's set up. What if I hit that? No, it can't make me continue. I just want to see what kind of process that it's set up. I'm just curious. Okay. Okay. So you can do e-check, pay later, or a Visa. Okay. A card. And it says pay over time on amounts 150 plus with a firm, or you could do an e-check, like I said, or debit card. I was just curious if they had PayPal or how many options. Wow. So that's that. Okay, let me get out of that. Not going to do that. Let's see what this one goes through, if it's the same thing. Let's see. Commissary access isn't about luxury. It's about dignity, stability, and maintaining a human connection behind prison walls. No. Okay, donate. Every single dollar donated here goes directly and entirely towards Wade's commissary account. Your generous support helps cover essential basic necessities as well as small comfort items. Those little things that make a truly big difference. Deeply appreciate you standing firmly beside Wade and showing him he's not forgotten. So you got 20, 40, 60, 100 custom amount. 3% fee. And that says these funds are intended exclusively for his commissary needs. Funds are transferred by Angie, approved visitor, every 7 to 10 days. Okay. And then what's this one? And spread awareness. One of the most powerful, impactful forms to support is unwavering commitment to truth. Share Wade's story widely. Stay updated. Okay, so basically just share it. Okay. Let's see what they do for that. Support kit. No, I can't click on that. I'm curious though, like if I click on it, I'm not in it, right? I could just see what they're doing. It says when you stand with Wade, you're not, because I'm just curiosity, guys. You're not just supporting an individual, you're joining a powerful community built on unwavering truth, deep compassion, and relentless persistence. Every single supporter, no matter where they cross the globe, plays a vital and irreplaceable role in amplifying his voice, pushing boundaries, ensuring his case continues, blah, blah, blah. Ways to take meaningful action. Letters show Wade he's cared for and seen as a person, not just a number. Support isn't just money, it says. It's about real connection. Mailing guidelines. Yeah. Why writing matters. You got the human connection, mental health, rehabilitation, small act, big impact. What happens if I do this? I just want to see what it is. Please don't. It's a document support kit, a guide to advocacy, human dignity. I'm taking one for the team here so we can look through it. So inside, I'm not going to buy one. I just want to see what it offers and how much it is. So I'm just curious what this is all about. So the action kit exists to help concerned individuals engage in lawful, respectful, effective advocacy regarding conditions within Florida's correctional system with specific attention at the Union Correctional Institution. It's not harassment. It's advocacy is not interference with legal proceedings. It's not about attacking individuals. It's about oversight, accountability, humane treatment. Inside, you'll find guidance on who to contact, verified contact info, recommendations, how often to write, clear expectations for tone and professionalism, a ready-to-use letter template that can be sent as written or personalized. The goal is not volume for the sake of volume. The goal is steady, thoughtful communication that legislatures can read, log, and act upon. Messages that are respectful, specific, and grounded and concerned are far more effective than messages that are emotional, hostile, or vague. All supporters using this kit are asked to always remain polite and professional, avoid harassment, threats, and inflammatory language, provide basic context rather than one-line messages, respect staff members. The kit has been structured to encourage measured, lawful engagement that aligns with best practices used by established advocacy organizations. Okay. The kit is created by supporters. Wade is not directing or managing the effort. Why we act. People on death row deserve humane treatment, protection from harm. Mental health care is a human right. Death penalty is unjust. The kit's meant to design to help supporters take action in a way that protects Wade while keeping attention and conditions, oversight, and accountability. You'll find guidance on who to contact and engage and how to communicate clearly without escalating or creating unintended harm. The emphasis is consistency, clarity, focus rather than urgency and volume. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Independent, preventing normalized abuse, legislation, support, protecting human rights. Fact sheet, key provisions are. Yeah, how to use this fact sheet. So I'm just going to skim through this fast. Florida senators. Talking about send individual emails rather than mass messages. Florida House of Representatives. Who to contact and why. Members of Florida House because they vote on legislation that directly affects prison operations. Best House committees. Okay, I'm not. All right. Letter template, dear senators, representatives. There's a lot of stuff on this site. Let's see if there's any interesting stuff here. Key Florida statutes. All right, I think we're done with this part. Oh, what is this? Every message counts. Blue Heart Advocacy. What is that? Is that the, oh, it's the same thing. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay, let's see what's next. So now we have, I don't even know where did we already do this? Is that just, oh no, okay. Here's images. I've seen all of these so far. Let's see if there's any new ones. No. All these are the same ones that have been going around. Yeah. Okay. All right. Did we already do this one? Yeah, sorry, we did. Sorry. No effects. Wade Wilson has been incarcerated since 2019. His 2024 trial resulted in death sentence. And his appeal is currently under review by the Florida Supreme Court. His case raises serious and urgent concerns about the consistency, fairness, and reliability of Florida's death penalty system notorious for having one of the highest rates of wrongful convictions and exonerations in the entire nation. We firmly believe that every person, regardless of the circumstance, deserves a fair trial and competent defense and the fundamental right to due process, core values, and truly define justice in its honest and just form. Florida's death penalty in context Florida has long led the nation in both executions and exonerations, a glaring contradiction that exposes just how deeply flawed and broken the system truly remains. More than 30 people sentenced to death in Florida have been proven innocent and subsequently released, highlighting the grave errors made. The application of the death penalty is shockingly inconsistent, varying dramatically from county to county without a clear rationale. But it's not going to be wrong on Wade. He's not innocent. You know what I'm saying? Some defendants convicted of multiple murders receive life sentences, while others are executed for far less aggravated cases, demonstrating a lack of uniform justice. Clemency, once a crucial safeguard designed to prevent wrongful executions, is now granted only in rare and exceptional circumstances. These glaring inconsistencies reveal that the system is driven not by fairness or justice, but by politics, resources, and sheer circumstance. Every exoneration shines a harsh light on the system's capacity for error, while every execution permanently erases the opportunity to correct those devastating mistakes. Wade's story is an important part of a much broader conversation about justice and accountability in our society. His case clearly highlights the urgent need for greater transparency, consistent sentencing, and meaningful reform in the hold on. Is this boring for you guys? I don't know. I was just curious anyway, a meaningful reform in the way Florida handles capital cases. Supporting Wade means standing firmly for fairness, not just for him personally, but for everyone who finds themselves caught in a system that too often fails to uphold rules and standards. Florida continues to actively pursue executions despite a clear and growing decline in public support for the death penalty. Numerous studies have revealed persistent racial and geographic disparities in how death sentences are handed down, highlighting systemic iniquities. Am I doing this? Am I reading too fast because I want to try to read it fast to get through this, but is it too fast where you aren't absorbing it though? Additionally, the financial cost of pursuing capital punishment is significantly higher than that of life imprisonment, diverting crucial funds away from the prevention programs, rehabilitation efforts, and support services for victims. True justice must be consistent, transparent, humane, not left to chance or arbitrary factors. I might start skipping some stuff here because I want to work on some of my Ko-Fi and end this soon. But I'm just curious. Okay, where do we just end? No, I see it's underlined. Case information, we have Lee County trial court records. I've read all those, man. I've read a lot of them on video too, on live streams. Appeal status, let's just see what they say on them. I mean, we know, I just was on this site earlier on my live. Yep. And then we're gonna update this part, but yeah, we already did this. We already looked at this. There's the overall parties. Or argument. All right. Supreme Court of Florida. All right, so that's what they have here. Yeah, oh yeah, I used to go to those all the time. Okay, so I'm not gonna go. Been there, done that already. Okay. There's we already went over that. Okay, good. Commissary. I think a lot of this is stuff we already went. Yeah, okay. So we did I think just when we scroll down, we went over all of it. But there was a couple things that skipped that you had to actually go in to click on it because it didn't, like that one picture section wasn't there. Here's the one that we haven't went to here. Best lawyers, Ufferman. Wade's appeal is being handled by attorney Michael Ufferman, a respected appellate specialist based in Tallahassee, Florida. His work is focused on ensuring that every aspect of Wade's case is reviewed with precision and fairness under Florida law. Donations toward Wade's legal fees are made directly through Mr. Ufferman's official payment portal, ensuring complete transparency and proper handling. Your contributions help sustain the legal work that keeps Wade's fight for justice moving forward. Oh, that's the pay, yeah. Duh. Okay, about BHA, Blue Heart Advocacy. Yeah, we're not gonna read this. Saying the same stuff we already basically read. Donation transparency. We already read that about it going to commissary. Okay. Ooh, you can use contact page, volunteer. Yes, supporters can help by sharing posts, writing letters, participate in Blue Friday efforts, spreading awareness. Visit the supporter action kit page for ideas, pearl sources. Okay. I read conflicting information online. What's true? Unfortunately, misinformation spreads easily on social media. All verified updates about Wade's legal situation or advocacy efforts will appear only on this website or our official team pages. If you're unsure about something you've seen, you can always reach out directly to us via social media or our contact form. But yeah, that's not going to be biased. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you're supporting them. And I know the other side could look the same way as like, they're like, we're biased because we're not. But of course, I think I'm looking at it objectively and I still come to the conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I'm being biased, but I know some people the other side would say we're biased, but I think we see it as it is. I mean, there's this, let me get off this page and we'll talk about it. Oh, let me just unshare. But you know what I'm saying? There's this guy that has murdered 2 innocent people and then afterwards treated all these women like horribly, used them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just don't, what am I'm not missing anything. I was gonna say, what am I missing? I'm not missing anything. Other people were missing stuff. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. I want to get some of the Ko-Fi a little bit down. Wait, what are you saying, Janet? Oh, Steph, thanks. Wade and his wives will never have rational brains. At least he will be locked forever. I have a question. Do you think, let me exit out. Do you think it's always gonna be like recycle people? Like, that first batch of people, a lot of them left because they realized, they were screwed and what he did to them and whatever. So they moved on. Now we have the second team. Do you think it's gonna keep doing it? Now this team's gonna get sick of them and see the truth, and then they're gonna end it and stop, and there's gonna be a new team, and it's just gonna be like forever. He's always gonna have a team of women that are like somehow infatuated with him? Or do you think this team right here is going to stick with him till the end? I don't think. Not the way he treats people. I don't think that's possible. But thank you, Steph. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go see if Zeke wants to come up here while I do some editing. Yeah, right. Oh, Janet. That's the sweetest thing. That's so cute to say you're right here. Oh, no criminal organization will play. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. Have a good one. I think my next live, like I want to do my Taylor Swift business live. I gotta do that. Might take tomorrow off from lives, even though I've taken a lot of days off from lives. But like I said, I have been working because I've been doing pre-records and editing and Ko-Fi and stuff. But Zeke, he's so precious. I told you, I don't know if you guys saw my live the other day, how we moved my grandma into a memory care facility, a private one. I mean, it's a really nice. So when was it? Monday. So Zeke and her, you know, I'm really close with Zeke too, but so is my grandma and her. So Zeke's been like moping around, and because the thing is like he's always with somebody. He's so cuddly, my dog, so cuddly. But since he always had my grandma, when I was working or did lives, he'd just be down there with her. So now that I'm not, I want him to start coming up here. When I edit, he'll sit on right here. So I have this chair, and I bought this chair that's adult for pets, comes out. So I'm hoping he will come up and sit with me. But the problem with live streams, like I was saying on my last live, is he's weird about if I'm talking to somebody. Like I can't talk on the phone and cuddle with him because it's just like that's not giving him the attention, so he'll leave. But I could watch stuff or edit. Like noise doesn't bother him, but if he knows that I'm like talking to somebody else, so cute. So I want to try to get him used to because I want to have up here for live so you can see him and have like a dog cam. I'll have a camera on him if he stays. So cute. But I know I'm hoping that chair he'll hop up on it, but I think it might just be when I edit because like he'll come up on this. So, editing. Oh my god, I just knocked something over. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. Bye.